They told you not to talk about it. They told you not to ask questions. Not to notice what's really happening. But this isn't their channel. This is Triggered But Right. All right, hello everyone. This is Triggered But Right. This is the second episode of Hard Truth, a show about politics. I'm so excited to be here with all of you. We have a great show ready for you today. quite a bit of stuff has happened, as it always does throughout the week, because we live in a world of constant stimulation, constant stuff being thrown at us, and a lot of great things have happened, a lot of not so great things have happened. So let's just get into it. I want to start off with a very, very great thing that has very recently happened that I'm very happy about. Murders are down about 20% this year. 20%. I mean, look, you can have your critiques on whatever you want with Donald Trump and everything. You can say whatever you want about ICE, but something's working. I don't know what it is. I know that there are a lot of pretty bad stories, but something is working, because that is a pretty high percentage. I mean, homicides in Washington, D.C. currently are down 60%. That is a massive amount. A more than substantial amount. Like 60%. That is extraordinary. I'm going to say it. I mean, the less people are getting hurt, the more happy I am, the more happy everyone is. I have to say that something is working with this, because a lot of deportations, especially in Washington, D.C., have been happening, and homicides are going down, drugs are going down, guns are going down, and it's pretty great. It really is, because the thing is, it's also kind of hilarious to me that the people who claim to care about school shootings and gun violence and all this stuff are way against deportations of violent criminals, which I think is kind of hilarious. It's so hypocritical. I can't even describe how hypocritical it is that a lot of people who are shooting and killing people, that you are against gun violence, that are getting a hold of guns and weapons, and then when they go, you're like, oh my gosh, this one thing happened. Oh, this is looking pretty bad. And I'm not saying I'm 100% on with ICE. I don't think that they should be targeting random people. But as I said, something has been working. And it's just, again, hilarious how hypocritical the people are. Because a lot of the people who come over the border, right, and are illegals and kill people, and not going to say all illegals are criminals, whatever, but the 25% that come over and do all these terrible crimes, a lot, that counts as gun violence, people. That does count as gun violence. So really, even though Trump does protect the Second Amendment and want the Second Amendment, he is bringing down gun violence, which is a pretty great thing. I would think that you would be happy about that, but I guess not. One thing that I did see on the other side is that ICE, quote unquote, detained a prisoner. I do know that the father ran off and abandoned him, and I don't have the full background on the story, because not a ton has come out about what the father was, if he was a criminal, whatever. But I know that they can't just leave some 5-year-old on the street. That's not great. It's all around a pretty bad situation. But I do think that they should kind of have a list of people and actually be going after criminals first. But again, this father might have been a criminal. That is a possibility. But right now there is a kid, a preschooler, in ICE detainment, but again, I think it is very important to say they were not going for that child. Look, I will say some of the ICE stories are somewhat dystopian. This was not. They were not going for the child. But another thing that I wanted to talk about is the Greenland deal, and we can kind of call it a deal. I don't really know what it is, because he already had military bases there, and basically what they just talked about was, we're going to expand the military bases, we're going to expand this stuff, we're doing a security deal, we're going to go in together because it's geopolitically important. But the important thing about that is Trump, in the US I should say, not Trump, already had bases there, and I really don't know what the deal necessarily did, because it wasn't even really a deal. Trump basically, what he did was, he talks a lot. I mean, when he dies, there's going to be a thing like, he talks a lot. And the thing about it is, he went out, made a bunch of fuss about it. He's been talking about it for a while because it is geopolitically a very important place. But he basically was like, we're going to use force, we might take you. No one believed that. I mean, the people who did are idiots, but no one really believed that. He was just kind of negotiating, making his stupid banner that Trump does a lot, and then ended up coming to a quote-unquote deal where they're going to expand the military bases. My problem with this is we kind of already had bases there, and I guess the expansion is a good thing that we negotiated down to that. I'll give him that. But the fact that people are like, we got Greenland or whatever, no, we didn't. It's still run. It's still under Denmark. It's still... We don't have Greenland, is my point. We got some good out of it. We got some good out of it, and we didn't have to pay for anything. We didn't have to blow anything up, thank God, even though I never thought he was going to do that. But... yeah, that's essentially what happened. We're just expanding military bases. There was nothing major that crazy changed. I mean, there was again a deal with NATO, whatnot, but he basically just said that he claimed a framework of a future deal. And I don't really know what that means, because they have insisted over and over again that they're not selling to us, or they're not going to unless something really big changes. And we also, let's get back to the Iran protests. So I believe last time, I don't know exactly, I do know the death tolls in Iran currently for protesters is over 5,000. Way over 5,000. We do know that I know that it says 5,000. It is over 5,000. It is way over 5,000. These people, no, it is over 5,000. I've said that 7-ish times. But the thing about it is, so then Trump goes, hey guys, help is on the way. And then goes radio silent for a couple weeks. And then I believe this morning he decides we're going to send out some boats into Iran. We're going to start, actually starting to help these people. And we send out the boats, and I believe we take out some naval ships. We take out, I believe, 9 ships around there. We send these ships out, do that. So help was on the way, I guess. I'll give him that. We did send some help on the way. I don't necessarily know what the next step is, as stuff is currently marinating, as I like to put it. I mean, things are building up, definitely. The tensions in Iran are very, very high, as they have always been. I mean, after the Muslim revolution, the tensions have been high because they stripped human rights from everybody. What are we doing over there? Why are people even arguing over this? It's just a bad situation. That's all I can say. I mean, I just hope that the deaths aren't for nothing, if that makes sense. And I know that kind of sounds like a terrible thing to say. I don't think by any means people should be dying over there for protesting, but I really hope something comes of it. I hope the US keeps helping, honestly. I hope we don't get into a crazy war with Iran. I don't want that, but I hope the US keeps fighting, or not fighting, but keeps going, keeps trying to get something done there, because I really don't think that these poor women should have to wear big black freaking big black coats, is that what we want to call them? I don't think that they should have to wear those. That's terrible. They abuse people over there. They do need help. And I don't want to get into a crazy war with them. But on the other hand, I mean, 5,000 protesters? That's a lot of people. People need to realize, who are arguing against help, that is a large amount of people. And an argument that a lot of neo-liberal whatevers like to make is that, I shouldn't say a lot, but I have heard this argument before for numerous battles, for a reason that we shouldn't be helping these people. It's, 5,000 isn't that much. 5,000? It's only 5,000 people. I mean, earthquakes have killed more. And think of 5,000 people in your living room. Just imagine that. I know you can't, because it's more than you can fathom. That is a lot of people. So, long story short, they need help. They do need help. And I don't know what the help is going to be. As I said, we have just sent out some naval forces, and that is about all we know regarding Iran. I don't know what the new death count is. I do know that it is still high, but yeah, they head to Iran. That's what we're doing. We have sent out the boats, and that is about all we know for that. But back to the Greenland thing. I know we're kind of jumping around. That's what we do here at Triggered But Right. But no, back to the Greenland thing. I mean, a lot of the time, I don't want to say he quote unquote like chickens out, but a lot of the time, Trump, that dude, as I said earlier, says a lot of stuff. And this framework of a deal, I don't know what's gonna come out of it. I don't know what framework means. I need more than that, dude. You can't just come out of here and be like, we have a framework of a deal. Okay, that's my best Trump voice, but he can't just come out here and say that and pretend like something magnificent happened. Because again, we didn't buy anything, we didn't blow anything up. Thank God. I'm pretty anti-war, but that happened. And then again, I guess we just went full circle back to the fact that back to some ICE ideas, ICE things. So currently, as you know, there are still a lot of protests regarding ICE. A lot of businesses closed down in Minneapolis because of that one shooting that we all know about. And a lot of businesses are shutting down today to go out and protest and as I saw a news article the other day, clash with ICE officers, because that's a good idea. That's always a good idea. Yeah, clash with the ICE officers. No, but they're going out to protest because of the killing, because of all the stuff that's going on, and then they're seeing a lot of misinformation regarding that kid that was taken by ICE, so it's going to keep ramping up. Those pressures, my prediction for those pressures is they're not going to go down for a while. People are really not happy with the ICE right now, and I don't think that those are going down. Something bad is going to happen. I hate to say it, but those people are going to keep pressuring these officers, and these officers are, I guarantee, eventually going to not rightfully retaliate in some way, and then it's just going to keep ramping up, and that's going to keep happening. I mean, I don't think this is going to be some world-ending, like, United States destroying thing, but it is not going to be great for the time being. And also, but again, as you can say, and you can always pull these stats out, which drives me crazy. Murders, homicides down 20% this year just in the US, and homicides in Washington, D.C. down 60%. I know I already said that, but again, that speaks to something. Like, something right is happening here, and I know wrong stuff happens. They should not be taking supposed US citizens, detaining them for a day, taking them out, whatever. They shouldn't be doing that. But something right is going on here. Something very right. Because we haven't seen these numbers in a long time. A very, very, very long time. So I'm just going to be positive about the future. Because that's all we can be at this point, isn't it? I mean, we've been in a crazy position for a while now, just regarding life in the U.S. Life in the U.S. has been pretty wild, has been kind of crazy, and we have to look on the bright side, because currently, as the right wing, no matter how many criticisms people have, as long as you're on the right wing is currently in a lot of control, and we cannot screw it up. We cannot screw it up. Another piece of news, which is more not necessarily a quantifiable scientific thing, but this weird MAGA civil war has seemed to die down between the Groypers and the MAGA and the whatever. That seemed to die down. We haven't heard much about that. A lot of people were kind of assuming or predicting that this was going to tear the Republicans apart, but no, it didn't. It didn't really do anything. It was like 2 weeks. A guy went on Tucker Carlson's podcast, upset a bunch of people, got some viewers, pretended to have a civil war with MAGA, and then it ended. That's what happened. It's really not what you think it is, what you've been told. It is not this huge, like, crazy, destructive civil war. The movement's going fine, whatever. But a new record high amount of people are identifying as independents as well, which I think is an amazing thing, because I don't think that you should be waving around a flag that you are one thing. If there's some whatever party member that you like, just vote for them. I really don't think that we need to. Independence, great. But a weird thing about it was most of them, like a good percentage of these supposed independents, still have a pretty severe political leaning. So I don't really know if the independent thing means much. I don't know if signing up just because you're an independent means that much, because they still are basically liberal or Republican. But yeah, the Groyper, back to that, the Groyper Civil War thing is pretty much over. That died down pretty quickly. I haven't heard anyone talk about that man in a little bit, so whatever. That was not a big deal. But I'm kind of happy, because at least right now, even though a lot of people are voting more liberal, especially because of the ICE thing, especially because of the whatever you disagree with Trump, a lot of the younger people are starting to turn left again because it's a huge pendulum swing. I'm still pretty hopeful, because currently, at least for the next 3 years, we're in pretty good shape. And a lot of people are kind of freaking out about people moving left, about people moving whatever. And I mean, you can freak out about that, I guess, but we have 3 years to gain him back. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not super woo Trump. I mean, I would rather have him than the other side, just because generally with his values and policies, I agree with them more. But hopefully we can get a more reasonable right-wing candidate, because whether you like him or not, whether you love him, you can be completely MAGA, whatever, you can be completely on his side. He does lack a little bit of self-control, which is where I kind of lie, like, not completely with him, because a lot of the stuff he randomly says online or randomly posts online, it's just kind of like, dude, you're losing your credibility here. And especially with the Venezuelan takeover, which I'm super skeptical of, because it seems super clean, and I talked about this on the last show, it seems super clean. But I am super skeptical because they lied to us. I mean, they said it was a drug thing. Do people know how much fentanyl was coming from Venezuela? I'll tell you, it was not very much. I think 1% of the cocaine was coming from Venezuela into here, and an untraceable amount of fentanyl. That's insane. I don't trust that. I don't trust you if you're telling me that, oh my goodness, Venezuela be bringing the drugs again. And I'm going to say it again. Just say you want oil, because that's pretty much what you want. And whatever else you want, just be honest about it. Don't tell me it's drugs. Just don't tell me it's drugs. But yeah, there honestly hasn't been a crazy amount that's happened this week, because the Greenland deal, I mean, that's pretty great. And then the protests, a lot of stuff. I will say that what's kind of interesting is this supposed anti-ICE movement. This is like the longest I've seen the people focused on one issue for a long time. Like, it's kind of cool to see. I don't care that you disagree with it. It's kind of cool to see that at least people can think about something for a couple weeks at a time, because usually it's this talking point, and at least people are kind of staying on one thing. I don't know. It's not great, but it's fun. It's fun, at least. So that is about all I have to say. That is most of the news that happened this week, but I just want to reiterate the great stuff. That murders are down 20% this year. Homicides are down 60% in Washington, D.C. Life seems to be turning up, going for a good drive up in the correct direction, at least for American citizens. But life seems to be going in the correct direction right now. At least if you have a conservative outlook on life. If you're watching this and you have a liberal outlook on life, I'm sorry. Try not to let it upset you too much. Just keep living your life. It probably won't change too much. I am Triggered But Right. This is Hard Truth, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one, hopefully next week, and possibly tomorrow. These generally are going to be happening on Saturdays, but I might be more frequent with them depending on the day. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next stream. This is Hard Truth with Triggered But Right, and I am your host, Triggered But Right. Goodbye.